Hey guys, welcome back to me being cheap. Today I am canning up some taco meat. Now, Dillon's, which is our Kroger, had 5-pound chubs of the 73/30 something fat meat on sale. Oh, it's been some time ago, but they actually ran out, so I had redeemed a rain check. I had a rain check for 10 of them. And I always get in the middle of these projects because I'm just going about my daily life, and I forget to grab the camera and show you what it is that I'm doing. So I bought 10 of these 5-pound chubs, so that's 50 pounds of ground beef. Now, many of you are like, why don't you just put this meat in the freezer? Well, 10 5-pound chubs takes up quite a bit of room. What I like to do is can some of this meat up on hand so that you're doing this prep work once, and yes, it takes a little bit of time, but this is on the weekend and I can sit here and watch YouTube videos. So anyhow, I guess it was probably last weekend I took 3 or 15 pounds, so 3 of those 5-pound chubs, and I did some meatloaf. I'll have to show you the result later. I didn't film it. Like I said, I always forget to grab my camera and show you guys what I'm doing. So this was actually 20 pounds, or 4 of the 5-pound chubs. I cooked it down, and this is the fatter version of the hamburger meat. So I am straining it out. I have my colander here, and I have a bowl where I'm collecting the oil. And I will cook this oil down later and strain it out and then can it up. And that is tallow, and you can use that for an oil, for cooking, even in an emergency situation you could burn it for like a candle. And then I will put the strained ground beef in here. I do have my jars in the dishwasher, and after I get this meat strained out, I will cook the taco season into it, and then pack it in the jars and then do the pressure canning. But for now, I've got a lot of this fat I need to strain out of this meat, so I will check back in with you guys after I get the meat strained out. Okay, thanks for watching. Alright, welcome back. This is what 20 pounds of ground beef looks like, cooked and drained. And this is my little stock pot. I'm going to transfer it back over here. And then this is some taco seasoning that I bought in bulk, and to me this taco seasoning is not very strong. The flavor is okay, it's not very strong, so you do end up having to use quite a bit of it. I do have my own taco seasoning recipe, but I think I bought this because we got a good deal on it. But if you look at these instructions, it says for let's see, for 10 pounds of meat, which is 120 tacos, that we need 2.5 cups of the seasoning and 2 quarts of water. Well, this is 20 pounds, so we need about 5 cups of seasoning. And we have this much, which is not 5 cups. So I will have to make some more taco seasoning on my own to season this meat up. But we're going to use this whole container and then cook it down with, I guess that would be 4 quarts of water since we're doubling this. Now, just so you know, we don't throw the fat out. This is how much fat and oil is left over from cooking that much hamburger meat, which there's quite a bit. It is the cheaper 73 meat, but this fat has use too. So we will make tallow out of this, and the way that you do that is you cook it on a very low. Probably turn that down even more. Just let it simmer, and that cooks all the water out of it. And then when you get down to just pure fat, then you can strain it, and then the little meat particles that are down at the bottom of the pan, you can strain those out. Just put this into a jar, and since it's hot, you could seal it on its own, or you could actually just put it in a water bath and probably put it in there for 10 minutes, get that good and sealed. But anyhow, we will cook this down into tallow. I'll check back in with you in a few. Alright, welcome back. So I used what was left in that jug of taco seasoning. It was seasoned enough so I did not have to add anything to it. And here I am packing the jars, and I'll fill these up and then I'll go back and kind of press the meat down in there, get out the air spaces, and then top it off with any other meat. Because this meat is a little bit greasy, I will leave quite a bit of head space. Welcome back. So 20 pounds of ground beef works out to be 16, 17, 18 jars. So if you're trying to figure out how many jars you need and trying to do the math, this is 20 pounds of the 70-30 ground beef, cooked down, pre-cooked. Fat was strained. I've got that over here cooking on low, rendering out some tallow. I added the taco seasoning and the water to this, and I ended up with 18 jars. Now I do need to wash off the rims. As you can see, it's pretty messy here. Probably do a triple wash on those since it's a meat product and since it's oily. That way I can ensure that I get some good seals. So I'm going to get to work on that and go grab the pressure canner and get that heated up. Alright, thanks for watching. Alright, again, 20 pounds of the 70-30 equaled 18 jars. I have triple washed this, wiped it with a paper towel with vinegar, and getting ready to load up the pressure canner. Now, because these are being pressure canned, you don't have to pre-sterilize your jars. I did run them through the dishwasher, and I've got my lids over here ready to go. And Michael just got in with the shopping, so we've got groceries to put up too. So some people might say, why would you do this? Why would you take the time to do this? Well, this is 18 meals. We could have Taco Tuesday at least once per month, or burritos, or enchiladas. But I only had to dirty the kitchen up once, and then this is ready to go, so I can get the meals on the table very quickly. Alright, so I'm going to load up the pressure canner and check back in with you in a few. Alright, I've got the All-American pressure canner loaded up, and what you got to do with these is oil this inside ledge and then also the corresponding area on the lid. So I'm going to get that done and we'll let it vent and we'll be ready to go. Alright, welcome back. Here's all 18 jars out of the canner, and went ahead and pressure cooked some other beef. Let's see if I can get the lid off. Alright. So Michael had picked up beef when it was on sale. Usually buy one get one free and at a reasonable price. And so we had canned up some of this last night. It's this morning, just now getting up and unloading this. This is actually water that I've canned, filtered water, and that's always good to have on hand. It takes up space in the canner so your jars aren't rattling around, and then also the full jars they take up just as much room as the ones that aren't full. So always good to have some sterile water on hand. Alright, these guys are still bubbling a little bit, and it's been overnight. Sometimes meat will do that. So this is beef roast. Put a little bit of liquid smoke, a little bit of Canadian seasoning, and about half of an onion in the bottom. So you can make soup out of this and numerous other dishes. And I had 2 jars on the top, and then the rest of the meat jars are actually on the bottom. Anyhow, that's what that looks like. It's like a little bit of siphoning. We'll see. Okay, I'll check back in with you in a few. Okay, so here's the final verdict. We have 9 quarts of beef roast, and that, again, that's canned with a little bit of onion, some liquid smoke, and some Canadian steak seasoning. We have 5 quarts of water, Again, this is to take up space in the canner so that the jars don't rattle. And also it's nice to have some water stored. For this purpose, I do reuse these old lids. It's just water. And if for some reason it doesn't seal, not a big deal. It's just good to have some water stored up, just in case. Might as well, as long as you're taking up room in the canner. 9 quarts of pot roast. 18 pints of taco meat. So again, you might say, why would you go to the effort of doing that? Well, this is one time of dirtying up the kitchen, of dirtying up pots and pans. I've got this food ready to go. This food was picked up when it was on sale. I could have stored this meat in the freezer, however it would have taken up a lot of space. So I have done my meal prep in advance. I have something that is shelf stable, quick and easy to throw meals together. So again, this taco meat, you could use it for tacos, burritos, enchiladas, taco salad, anything that you want to do that's got the taco seasoning on the beef. This one, you could make stew out of it, you can make soup, you could eat it plain as a roast, just put some potatoes and some carrots to go with it. So, like I said, Michael had picked these up when they were on sale, just, 1 or 2 packs at a time, usually when they're buy one, get one free. The freezer was starting to get full, so we made some room in the freezer out of this. And for those of you who are new to pressure canning meat, it's roughly 1 pound per pint, or about 2 pounds per quart. Again, pressure canning meats is one way you can save a lot of money and also a lot of space in your freezer. So it's good to pick these things up when they're on sale and then go ahead and process them in your canner. Then you've got them on your shelf. You've already got it purchased. You have it prepared. You've prepared it in times when there's actually power. So one thing that happens is sometimes people will go and stock up their freezer to have all these things, and then they'll have a power outage. So not only are you scrambling to find somebody that can store all your food, but then you may not actually have a way of cooking it. So I do. I have a gas stove, and I've got some backup cooking methods such as a grill and solar oven and that sort of thing. But many people rely on electric. So if you have purchased your meat when it's on sale, which good for you, good for doing that. That's one way of saving money. But then if you have it all in the freezer, and if you're relying on electricity to keep your freezer going, and also then to cook it, then you will be having a problem if the power goes out for an extended amount of time. And sometimes people say, oh, well, that never happens. Well, I can remember a time when the power was out here for 9 days. We had an ice storm. So it does happen. It can happen. So it's always good to try and save money. But my opinion, I like to have the meats canned. They're ready to go. They can sit on the shelf, and then it doesn't matter if you have power or not. It's just ready to go, and you could eat it. And it makes for quick and easy meals with minimal kitchen cleanup. All right, thanks for watching.